Good day. This is our group and we are here to present our study entitled A Qualitative Study of the Availability of School Facilities Affecting Teaching and Academic Learning. Education has become a necessity for people who are procured and inclined with it, when in fact, education is necessary to satisfy one's goals. Therefore, certain facilities are required to make this a reality. An evident delinquent is the lack of facilities in government-funded schools. Poor conditions in such schools affect in a way that teachers are unavailable to relay information and effectively that may relatively cause retention of students' learning. Schools that differ in availability of school facilities vary in learning quality, student comprehension, and teacher instruction methods. For the statement of the problem, this study aims to identify the possible effects of the absence of facilities in public schools. Specifically, these will answer the following questions. Number 1. What is the function of school facilities and what is its importance? Number 2. What are some of the specialized facilities that the schools have and do not have? Number 3. What are the equipment and tools in these facilities that are readily available for use? And lastly, what is the implication of the inadequacy of facilities to the students' learning and to the teacher's strategies to teach the lessons effectively? For the significance of the study, the aim of this research is to provide benefits to the following entities. Number 1. Students. This prioritizes the students to have a better venue for learning and improving their knowledge and skills that are lifelong. Number 2. The teachers. This study lets the teachers grant access to different and better lesson plans and formulate effective teaching strategies for enhanced effective learning to students, especially to the known facts that students have different learning styles. And last, school administration. This study gives awareness to school administrations and contribute in developing public school facilities in the Philippines, that they may be able to find solutions in solving the problem. And lastly, the government. This study will enlighten different government agencies and departments to provide monetary assistance and to create benevolent laws and provisions that would improve better facilities in public schools.
So in this part of our oral defense, I will be discussing to you on the different literature and studies that we cited in order to provide a more reliable detail on how we did our research. So number 1, the review of related literature. According to Lawrence O. Picos and an effective school facility is responsive to the dynamic programs of learning. So of course, if a school has an effective or different kinds of facilities, students would be able to have hands-on learning that would be somehow different in terms of their experience or their knowledge in that certain area of learning in that school. And number 2, according to Liana's 2018, this is one of the major concerns addressed by the Department of Education, knowing most of their Filipinos rely on the education of their children through public schools. So from this, we know that the country is a third world country, and because of this, the government lacks funding in different public schools, which results to the lack or to the insufficiency of different facilities and equipment like laboratories in public schools, thus cause an unhealthy habit of studying for the children enrolled in public schools. Then, the review of related studies. According to Ashraf bin Zainuddin in 2017, results of the data prove that the availability of school facilities with good condition and modern equipment may make students more interested and motivated. So from a personal experience, when I was still enrolled in a public school, I wasn't able to grasp all the knowledge or all the lessons, since we didn't have any kind of laboratories or experiments that would be in connection to our lesson. However, when I transferred here in San Carlos, where there were complete facilities, that changed, since I was now able to understand better like chemical reactions and different things. According to Schneider 2013, with respect to the teachers, it was found out that the poor condition of facilities make it hard for them to provide effective education. So from an interview that we did in our study to a public school teacher, she said that if facilities would not be complete and would be lacking, they would resort to going to the traditional approach of learning, which would be time consuming and would not be in such a way effective to all the students that they're going to teach, since they would not be able to convey their lessons properly.
Next is the research methodology, research design. The researchers use descriptive design in finding out the effects of the lack of public school facilities affecting teaching and academic learning, where the questionnaire is an instrument used in gathering the data. A descriptive design answers the who, what, where, when, and how questions related to the research problem. This design is used to obtain information about the present situation to gain an understanding of a certain phenomenon. This also presents and gives a comprehensive examination of the data in a given situation to fill the needs of the problem the researcher focuses on. Research environment. The research happened in Michael Richards Building in University of San Carlos Talamban Campus, Laysonville Subdivision in Talamban, Cebu City, and through phone calls. Next is the participants of the study. The study is composed a total of 6 respondents. Inclusive are 3 public school students or alumni and 3 public school teachers or retirees. The respondents were chosen using purposive sampling, where the researchers selects or handpicks students and faculty members coming from public schools. Next is the instrument of the study. The study uses a questionnaire as its instrument. In this way, the data can be easily gathered that is useful in giving a complete interpretation of the current situations the researchers are looking into. This was chosen because the main goal or objective of the researchers is to find out the effects of the lack of public school facilities to the teacher's effectiveness and students' academic learning. The questions in the questionnaire were derived from School Facility Survey of the Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction. The study has 2 main questionnaires: teacher effectiveness in teaching and students' academic learning. Next is the research procedure. First, the researchers made an informed consent and a letter for the respondents. Next is that the researchers interviewed the respondents, and the interview was recorded by audio. Treatment of the data. The data collected is treated by using the colysis descriptive method, by uncovering the genuine experience of the phenomenon under investigation. That's all.
These are the data that we have gathered throughout the whole research study. First, for the students' questionnaire, all of the student respondents answered that their classrooms and boards are in good condition, while the restrooms, textbooks, and ventilation equipment are not in good conditions. Most of the students were taught to use Microsoft Office applications and software development programs. All of them answered that they were taught the proper use of laboratory apparatus and conducted scientific experiments. Majority of the student respondents said that they have audiovisual resources and libraries, and they do not have auditoriums and audiovisual rooms. For the teachers' questionnaires, most of the respondents said that they use workbook and textbooks, chalk talk discussions, and plain sharing and delivery of lessons every day or almost every day. Majority answered that they use charts and diagrams once or twice a week. All of them answered that they have materials written by students once or twice a week as well. All of the teacher respondents said consider that insufficient number of computers for teachers' use, shortage of maintenance and technical support, and weak utilities and infrastructure are obstacles in their effectiveness in teaching. Majority considered that insufficiency of copies and variety of audiovisual resources and integrating computers into classrooms instruction practices are obstacles as well. For the interview, school facilities are important and thus have many uses and benefits to the ones who are exposed to different kinds of resources. Next, schools have laboratories but lack the equipment that should be in them for use, like apparatuses and different materials. Also, the exclusivity of libraries and internet connections. Facilities are readily available for use, yet the lack of equipment inside would render it unusable for the students and the teachers. Fourth, the lack of facilities has corresponding effects on student development and teacher effectivity. Lastly, this lack of facilities can affect academic learning in accordance to the different experiences of the respondent.
So this is the conclusion of our study. School facilities have a significant role in the students' academic development. In public schools, it is usually the teacher goes back to its traditional way, which is kind of confusing to the students' part and hard for the teachers because they couldn't properly discuss their material without having facilities. It only left to a child's imagination or just the discussion which they can't really internalize. So most of the public schools from where the respondents have come from only have at most libraries and laboratories, but most of the essential equipment they don't have. So from the public school that I have come from, so basically National Science High School, we had both a physics laboratory and a chemistry laboratory, but most of the fundamental equipment in these laboratories we didn't have. So every time our teacher discussed a certain lesson or theory in physics and chemistry, we weren't able to see how the reactions happened or what really happened behind this experiment or that. They just left it for us to imagine and just told us that this happened and that, but we didn't really understand until I was able to study in San Carlos where I actually understood the reactions behind every experiment. So inadequacy of these facilities result to deficiency in the experience and hands-on learning of the students. So as I discussed in the last part of the conclusion, students are able to really understand if there is no practical sense or practical way for them to apply all their learnings because most of the time with the lack of facilities they're only left in the discussion is only left with their imagination and you really can't understand it. Throughout the entire research, the researchers have formulated the following recommendations. 1. The researchers should focus on a specific facility or equipment and specific ways that it could affect the academic learning and teachers' effectiveness. 2. And the researchers must also consider choosing students and teachers that come from public and private schools. 3. The researchers would like to recommend to the addition the following factors in the student, not limited only to the students' learning and teachers' effectiveness.